Good morning. Our opening words this morning come from S.C. Laurie. I don't think I'm looking for the big moments in life anymore. It's more the simple ones that make for a beautiful day now, like the sun rising, and the moon dancing, and the wind singing, the leaves grooving, kids laughing, and music playing, butterflies twirling, heart smiles staying, and me being present to witness all these little beautiful things. This is what makes for a happy and peaceful life, I'm sure. I invite you all to please rise in body or spirit and turn in your gray hymns to our opening hymnal number 16, It is a Gift to be Simple. We will sing the hymn through just once. I would like to invite David Dean forward to come light our chalice as I share a few words from Alina Westbrook. In a world ravaged by violence and hatred, by conflicts that seem eternal and insoluble, sometimes the only thing we can do is to be still for a moment to remind ourselves of what is real. The sun that rose this morning, the dirt under our feet, the air whispering in and out of our lungs. This hour, just try to be present in this moment as it unfolds. Your simple attention is what makes these moments holy. This morning, we are also lighting 2 of our Advent candles. This second week is peace. The 4 candles on this wreath count down through the season of winter's dark leading into the light. Advent is a time of waiting, of cultivating patience. This season asks us to hold faith that what we are all becoming is still awakening under the surface of our lives. On this second Sunday of Advent, we light the candle of peace with the words of Pema Chodron, a Buddhist nun. If we want there to be peace in the world, we have to be brave enough to soften what is rigid in our hearts, to find that soft spot and stay with it. We have to have that kind of courage to take that kind of responsibility. That's the true patience of peace. May this time of waiting inspire our courage. May we find the soft spot in the pressure of the season and stay with it as we discern our way forward. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be at ease and discover the true practice of peace within us so that there might be peace in the world. I would once again invite you to rise in body or spirit and join me to the call to worship. These words can be found in your order of service. Good morning and welcome. My name is Sydney Crisp, and I am delighted to be your worship leader today. All of our separate journeys have brought us here together this glorious morning, and I can't wait to spend it with you. Unitarian Universalists stand together in our belief of the worth and dignity of people of all races, nationalities, sexualities, gender expressions, abilities, and disabilities. And our faith moves us to express our beliefs through acts of compassion and justice. We are proud to practice a life-affirming faith, encouraging intellectual and spiritual growth. We embrace the act of asking questions instead of just blindly accepting answers. We explore our world instead of staying rigid in our lives. We act towards justice instead of just waiting for someone else to do it. We are connected by our 7 principles and the wisdom we find in ourselves, those around us, and our universe. We would like to take this opportunity to welcome any first-time or returning guests who are here today. We are so glad to have you here, and we hope that you feel welcome in our community. To find out more about our church, you can look for people with a name tag with a sticker that says, "New, Ask Me." You can also stop by our welcome table at the entryway to pick up some information about our church and faith. You're invited to sign in as a guest, get a name tag so that we can get to know you by name, and take a look at our literature and newsletter. We offer regularly scheduled Learn About Us classes, and if you are interested in membership, our membership chair, Julie Smithers, will be happy to talk to you about the path to membership. We would like to invite the congregation to join us after the service for refreshments, fair trade coffee, and conversation. As a congregation built on 7 chosen principles instead of a Bible, Torah, Quran, or other holy book, we rely on one another for guidance, support, and accountability. We read our congregational covenant each week to remind us of the promises we hold to one another and the work that is never done. I invite you to remain seated and read with me our congregational covenant, which can be found on the back of your order of service. We covenant to engage one another with honesty, kindness, and respect, to value diversity, seek understanding of our differences, and practice gracious accountability with care, love, and empathy. We make these promises to those who are here and those who are yet to come, so that we may be a safe, welcoming, and beloved community of acceptance, learning, and transformation. Thank you, Gary. Our congregation thrives from generosity in words and actions, compassion and dedication. Financial contributions to this congregation come from sacrifice and hard work, and all gifts are gratefully received. The funds that we gather collectively do a greater good for ourselves and our world than they could have done alone. I would like to invite our ushers, John Wrightington and Lynn Wadley, to come forward and assist the congregation in passing the plates, which will be followed by hymn number 113, Spirit of Life. Whether you add money or just your good energy, please take the plate when it is offered to you and pass it to the next person in an act of community. May there be an offering to sustain and grow the life and mission of this congregation, and may we give and receive in love and hope. Donna Zimmerman is a longtime resident of Jacksonville who had a time out for a mere 18 years in Dallas, where she found the UU Church there. Her background is in social services, and she was the executive director of Lutheran Social Services of Northeast Florida, where she started several programs, including the first HIV/AIDS services in the region provided by a professional organization. She is retired and spends her time on the worship committee and as a chaplain on the pastoral care team. Donna, I welcome you to the pulpit.
Can you believe that we are at the beginning of the final month of the year? How did we get here seemingly so quickly, but still so much has happened as we all adjusted to transition after transition after transition? And that was after 2 years of dealing with the pandemic at its worst. This past year, many folks returned to working in their actual office after working from home for a long time, learning to wear work clothes again instead of just on the upper half of our body. And then we were in comfy clothes on the bottom half, or dare I say, even pajamas. How many people got caught on Zoom wearing pajamas? For some, their companies found out that they could use a hybrid staff, and they had to adjust to working some in the office and some at home. And hopefully they didn't get the days on which they could wear comfy clothes on the wrong day. I wonder if, because the work and environment had changed so much, many of the companies made a more modified dress code and eased requirements just a wee bit. I wonder if it had anything to do with the fact that companies also found out that workers were actually in the driver's seat now when it came to work accommodations, because it was a super tight job market out there, and a huge number of employees found out how demand they were, and they left their employment for greener pastures and greener wallets. We also continued our lifelong learning during this process. In terms of the global economy, we learned the term supply chain. In public health, we learned the term bivalent vaccine to make sure we were getting the latest, greatest vaccine. In government affairs, we learned that it was always the fault of the other politician for everything that was wrong, and just elect me so I can fix it. In geography, we learned city names that never would have crossed our path. Mariupol, Zaporizhzhia, Kharkiv. Well, you get the drift. It was nice to be reminded by Gary as he played the opening music. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. We can settle back and get comfy, sipping hot chocolate, looking at all the festive colors and all the wonders of the season. Finally, welcome relief. But wait, not so fast. It's actually been looking a lot like Christmas since Hallmark started reminding us that the year's special tree ornaments would go on sale after the 4th of July. And speaking of Hallmark, we are treated to Christmas in July movies for the entire month of July. They're trying to make us feel all warm and fuzzy in spite of our temperatures that are in the high 90s, touching on 100. We no sooner get past that month of them showing previous year's holiday music than they start advertising the new holiday movies that will be showing on all 3 of their channels back to back to back to back in October. Stores have already brought in their inventory of holiday toys, festive clothes for the parties, gift sets of perfume, and Black Friday used to be a one-day madhouse the day after Thanksgiving, of sales and camping out at the stores all night long in order to get those very special prices to begin with. We have holiday parties, Secret Santa, cookie exchanges, multiple potlucks, dealing with drama at the family table. Good grief! How on earth do we deal being pulled in multiple directions with so many demands on our time and attention and truly get into the spirit of the season? Well, it just so happens I have a suggestion for you. We get back to focusing on the real meaning of Christmas. You might be surprised to hear what I believe that is. All right, now, this is a safe, supportive environment, right? I know I can be candid and vulnerable here. The real meaning of the season is gifts. There, I said it, I own it, I'm proud of it. Now, before you start thinking about that new drone camera you've been pining out or those diamond earrings, let me tell you what I'm talking about. Let's take a clue from the opening prayer that Sydney read. A portion of it said, "It's not the big moments in life, but rather it's the simple ones that make for a beautiful day and being fully present to witness them all." The spirit of the season is meant to be shared, and we do that by giving gifts. But wait, hear me out. I have a few examples for you. Time is the most precious resource that we have because it's finite. We all have the same 24 hours a day, and how we choose to spend it is up to us. Now, granted, some choices are made for us by default: work, school, family obligations, but the discretionary time that we have left, well, that's up to us. At this time of year, the demands blow out the roof. There are many demands on our attention, and the simple fact is we can't do them all and give those people and those things our full time and attention and be fully present for them. Time spent with family, with friends, that's pure gold. I invite you to take intentional time to do things that provide memories that live in the hearts of all who participate. The visit to the zoo to see the magical lights during the Christmas season, the bundling up to see the boat parade and enjoy the hot chocolate to stave off the cold. The holidays are just a season, but if we want to keep the meaning of Christmas in our hearts throughout the year, then we carry that gift forward with us. Spend quality, meaningful time with your kids, your family, your beloved. There are many things that you can do all year long that cost little or nothing. My grandson and his family make the choice to do family outings to nature trails and state parks every summer. His 2 children will likely not remember those gifts that they got on Christmas morning beyond the wide-eyed wonderment of getting the new fill-in-the-blank. But I guarantee you they will remember the weekend that they swam with the manatees. Last year was a really hard year for my younger daughter. It was the first Christmas that she and her 2 little girls were going to miss their daddy because he had died in March of last year. Jennifer vowed to give the girls the best Christmas possible because she had also promised her husband Brian before he died that she would do that. And she did. She went out of her way as much as possible to make it a truly wonderment of a morning on Christmas morning. However, right after Christmas, she sat down and talked with the girls about a different way to celebrate it this year. And the girls readily agreed. They were all going to make presents to give to each other and to close members of the family. And they've been planning it all year. The girls each came up with their own ideas about what to do. And they also decided to pull a name off of one of the angel trees around town so that they could help a less fortunate family. Now, of course, Santa will still come on Christmas morning, but the part that they are participating in, these things are the memory makers. So I suggest that you give the gift of time. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who see the current cultural climate that we live in unparalleled in terms of vitriolic language. It has gone beyond mean, beyond petty, beyond crass. Things that at one point could not and would not see the light of day are now so pervasive They are normalized. Not normal, but normalized to the extent that we are sadly accustomed to them. That was also the underlying philosophy of the Nazi propaganda machine during World War II, that if you repeat something often enough, people will come to believe it, even if it's patently not true. You just become used to it. Yes, we are disgusted by it, and mature, rational people don't engage in it. However, the drip, drip, drip of being constantly surrounded by it takes an emotional toll on us. Even without being aware, we can be slightly more on edge. Perhaps our patience wears a wee bit thin for some unknown reason. Maybe it's evident in the way we would normally let a car cut in from a side street in front of us in a line of traffic, and now we just pretend that they're not there. We didn't really see them. Or maybe our response to one of our kids comes out a wee bit sharper than it normally would have. It happens gradually, and we aren't aware of it. We just know we are quicker to feeling frustrated by small things or people. This is one where we have to make intentional choices to keep ourselves on an even footing. Being kind is more than a behavior. The art of kindness means having a spirit of helpfulness as well as being considerate. It's simple, free, positive, and healthy. Kindness itself has been shown to increase self-esteem, empathy, and compassion, and elevate your mood, even when you didn't realize your mood needed to be elevated. It also has a physical impact on our bodies. Kindness can positively change your brain. It boosts the chemicals in the brain that give us feeling of satisfaction and well-being. It can release a chemical, which are the body's natural painkillers. And kindness is contagious. In the words of the Dalai Lama, be kind wherever possible, and it's always possible. Give the gift of kindness to yourself and to others. While this time of year is very festive, with so many fun and exciting things to do, we can find our calendars crammed full of just too darn many things before we know it. But they're all fun, and I don't want to miss out on any of them, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings by saying no. It's okay, I'll figure it out, even if that means I look on my calendar that sits above my desk and wince as I make yet another entry on a day that barely has room in it. Many of the things that we do during the holidays have many tasks associated with them. Buying and making food I'm bringing, or getting the gift for the white elephant gift exchange. So it's not just going to a party. That's okay, we'll just go from one to the other, perhaps not being fully present and feeling slightly exhausted and not really knowing why. I learned a valuable lesson a number of years ago. There was a weekend annual retreat/workshop I used to go to early in November that was held in Keystone Heights. We stayed in a rustic church campground on a lake. The weather was always cool, crisp, and lovely. In addition to being friends with the people there, I never left without learning something for myself or about myself. And I gain insights about that. I so look forward to the quiet time there, away from work responsibilities and family responsibilities, and just taking in nature. This one year in particular, Took 2 pages over. This one year in particular, I happened to have a lot on my plate. I worked full-time, I had 2 kids, I was taking college classes. Like I said, really a lot on my plate. It was a given that I was going to the retreat. It's something I couldn't miss, I never wanted to miss. But of course, other things were given too. Projects at work that had a deadline, papers at school, tests at school, kids that had things to do. It was overwhelming, but there was nothing I could do about it. Until one day I was lamenting to a friend about how overwhelmed I was. And she looked at me and simply said, "Donna, how would you feel if the retreat was canceled?" My instant, immediate response, without even thinking, was relief. And there it was. I didn't want to make the decision not to go. Gosh, that wasn't even a possibility. I had not missed it in years, and it was extremely important to me. But if the decision was made for me, I would have no choice, and I would be so grateful. That year, the biggest lesson I learned from the retreat was by taking the simple step of not going. The power of saying no really comes down to the effects, again, that it has on our brains. When we say no more often, we shift the way our brain thinks and reacts to situations, allowing us more ability to make decisions for ourselves. This has a tremendous effect on our mental health as it allows us to set boundaries and value ourselves more. This is critical to having a balanced life and being present, really present, for those we love. Give yourself the gift of saying no. Well, I think it's fitting that the ancient text tells us about 3 gifts that the wise ones presented to the newborn child: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So let's take a look at the 3 gifts I am suggesting to you today. I set out for your consideration, and let's see about pulling the various strands of thread together and weave it into a coat of many colors for the holidays and beyond. As I was writing this sermon, there were many gifts I could have chosen to highlight. I selected these 3 at the very beginning without knowing exactly where I was going to go as I elaborated on each one of them. And then a strange thing happened as they started to take shape. They actually all interconnected with each other in some ways. Isn't it funny about our UU principles? They seep into every facet of our lives. There is an interdependent web, and it's not just restricted to all existence. The concept of ideas and the patterns they make, the way they shape us, leads the way to how we interact with the rest of existence. Making the intentional decision to spend quality time with those we love, teaching ourselves to react from a place of grace and kindness, and learning to set appropriate boundaries, all these make us a better, healthier human being. And that does impact the others in our orbit, our own web of existence. So I suggest to you, as we go deeper into the Advent Sundays of the season, we look at the many gifts we can give for Christmas, including the 3 that I offered to you today. I promise you, if you incorporate them in your life, you will see long-lasting benefits. So, if you celebrate the birth of a child in a manger, I wish you a blessed Christmas. If you celebrate the Festival of Lights, I wish you shalom and happy Hanukkah. If you celebrate Kwanzaa, I wish you to enjoy honoring family connections and heritage. And if you celebrate simply a festive time of year, I wish you happy holidays. May it be so.
Thank you, Donna. I invite you to please rise and body our spirit for our closing hymn, number 352, Find a Stillness. We will sing both verses, and afterward, please remain standing for our benediction. I invite David Dean once more to extinguish our chalice as we hear the closing words, which come from Samuel A. Trumbore, one of the authors of the book Buddhist Voices in Unitarian Universalism. Go forth in simplicity. Find and walk that path that leads to compassion and wisdom, to happiness, peace, and ease. Welcome the stranger and open your heart to a world in need of healing. Be courageous before the forces of hate. Hold and embody a vision of the common good that serves the need of all people. Thank you for joining us this morning. May you go in peace, in love, in compassion, and justice. Namaste, and blessed be.